Yeah, the first club I played for was North Ryde RSL, which is just a club team. I think I was 5 years old. My parents took me down there just to, I guess, make some friends, I suppose, and then kick the ball around and use some energy, get me out of the house. And I played with them for probably 6 or 7 years. So, you know, don't have too many memories because I was pretty young, but I remember that I met some good mates there that I still keep in contact with now, and it was good fun. The first Socceroos game that I can probably remember seeing, actually saw it live, was probably the Iran game in '97 when we drew 2-2 down the MCG. I think back when you're a kid, you don't really think about the future too much, and you know, I was just a supporter of the game. You know, I loved watching soccer live, no matter who it was, and just to experience that down at the MCG was something special. But I guess just as a fan, games like that in Australia don't come along too often, so it was a bit of an eye-opener for me for sure. It was funny because we flew into Brazil probably about 10 days or maybe 2 weeks before the tournament, so we had quite a bit of time there, and we were quite isolated. We were in a small city, small town, we had the hotel to ourselves, so the hype of the World Cup wasn't really filtering through to us. And then sort of the day before the game, we flew into the city where we were going to play Chile, and Brazil were playing that night, and you could hear just from the hotel, the streets, everyone on the streets and in the bars, and the atmosphere around the place. And then when we got to the stadium the next day, we were in the change room watching Spain versus the Netherlands, because they were the game before us with the other two teams in the group. And that's when it sort of hit home that here it is, it's about to start. And then obviously when you're lining up in the tunnel against Chile and you hear the FIFA song, that's when it sort of hits home that you know, this is pretty cool and it's a pretty big occasion. Walking out that first game, national anthem against Chile, is something pretty special that I won't forget. I think the one thing that sets us apart, and you hear this from overseas coaches all the time, is just our hunger and our willingness to run all day and never give up, and that mateship and that ability to work for each other, I think, and that's something that we as the Socceroos really need to harness, because it's a true Aussie spirit, as they say, and it's something that we're very good at that a lot of nations don't have. And obviously the other side of it is the football that we're, you know, doing very well at as well, but I think that's something that sets us apart from a lot of other nations for sure. Yeah, look, it's funny, in the lead up to the tournament you think about it a lot, I suppose, and think about the players that you're going to be coming up against and stuff, but once you're on the pitch, it's just like any other game. You know, you walk out and you sing the national anthem, and then once you get your first touch on the ball, all the sort of nerves and the excitement goes out of the game, and it's just like it's, you know, any other match. So you don't really, at the time, think about that as much, who you're playing against, certain individuals, which team or whatnot. It's more just, you know, I've got to do my job, get out there, get through the 90 minutes and hopefully get a good result. I think the Netherlands game as a whole was something to remember, although we didn't win. It was a pretty decent performance, and I thought we probably deserved a little bit more out of the game. And I guess for me personally, that first game against Chile, when I cleared the ball off the line, was you know, nice to have a bit of an impact in the game there and stop a goal. So that was probably a couple of highlights for me.